Blurry. I think I'm a little blurry. Hey, everybody.
Oh, we're live.
We are
Hello.
live.
Hello.
We are alive.
Welcome. It is Friday. Little
is
beeps
Friday.
going on. Everybody can hear us,
TGIF.
hopefully. We've got some new people in chat. Welcome, Brill Adrian. First time catching the
Yes.
stream.
Welcome
Hello to
back.
Casey as usual. Hello, Scott. Hello, Brian. Everybody who comes in, give us a shout out hello so that we can say hi back. We are more than happy to be here. We're ecstatic. What game we got going on in the background today, Preston?
This is Phasmophobia, it looks like.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah. So,
Is that why I've been seeing you play it on Steam?
yeah,
It has actually been
my daughter. Yeah.
Yeah.
We've been, she's been playing a lot.
The my wife and I want to play it.
Oh, yeah.
She has it. I don't have it yet. But the problem is that it's very much a, you have to be on the voice chat thing so that if you're far away from each other, you can't hear each other.
Yeah, exactly.
And that doesn't really work when we're literally like our
Next to
setup
each
is
other.
right next to each other.
Yeah. I feel you.
Joe, welcome. Why is Cory on an iPad? That is because that is the only way that I can exist anymore, is in this tiny little box. Yeah. Oh, I didn't even hit the edges. Oh well. I'm very excited to get back into getting you to draw some art. And I want to know if you want a suggestion from the audience or if you want a challenge.
I will say whichever works for me. Sorry, I'm just making sure.
That's what I'm saying.
Making sure everything's there. Yeah, I'm flip a coin. Heads,
All right.
the former, tails, the latter.
I don't have a coin, but I do have a D20. So we'll say that evens.
There you go.
We get a suggestion. Odds, we do a little challenge that I come up with.
DMs of a feather roll together.
I got odd, so I think it's time for a little bit of a challenge. And we'll go ahead and roll another dice to determine, because I have 3 different challenges that we can do here.
Okay.
Need to roll again. I was like, okay, 1, 2, or 3, and then it rolled a 5 and a 4 because I don't have a D3 on me. Double jeopardy. So we are going to be doing a challenge called Draw a TOA Character from Memory, Preston. This is
TOA from memory.
I'm going to give you a Tales of Aneria character from our adventures, and I want you to try and draw them from what you remember.
This could get interesting. Like we were talking the other day, there's sometimes I'm just like, oh yeah, like,
yep.
I don't really have a picture in my head what they look like. I just be like, it's who they are. It's like more of an emotion. I don't know. Let's draw an emotion. Yeah. So
let's see here. We're gonna go ahead and just roll another dice because I have them all numbered already. Because I am always prepared. Number 1, I rolled a critical fail. So you are going to be drawing Chauncey. Chauncey is the personal concierge from the Ruby Oasis.
Okay, the one that gave us the outfits.
Yeah, he was the one who directed you towards the tailor for the outfits. Yes,
trying to remember. I like
basic. Again, we're going to go very basic with this one, apparently. But
yes, Chauncey. Now, if I remember correctly, he was kind of like a butler figure, right? Not like a butler, but like your bell,
very much
bellboy,
like,
but like a
the concierge, the main kind of guy in a hotel, that sort of thing.
Okay, got it. Okay,
a hint of Drawfee in the stream. I will admit that yes, Drawfee does inspire me to do these challenges. This is a pre-evolution of Blissey. And then welcome to What the Yanko. That says a challenge. This is going to be fun. It's probably not going to be that fun. Chauncey is actually a very basic character. I probably should have given you something a little bit more complicated here. But
all right.
For anybody who doesn't remember, Chauncey was there when they arrived on the Greatest Treasure to take them down the spiral staircase, showed off like a few fun little paintings for them, and he was kind of just always there whenever they needed him when they were in the Ruby Oasis I guess it's a hotel. It's a resort stay. So
yeah, and he was like the guy that we would make jokes and stuff to, and he'd be like, yes, like you're here.
Yep. It was the name Colby was going to call him, regardless of what his actual name was. Yes, that's true. Which is how I name half of my characters, by the way. Is literally just whatever somebody shouts out as their name the first time. I just go, that's right. That is exactly what their name is. So let's see if I've got any fun facts about Chauncey. Can't give you any physical description. I will say that he does have hair on his head, but not where you expect. If that makes sense. That doesn't make any sense. I will say that he has facial hair. That I'll give you that much. He has a light and proper voice. Apparently, I don't have too much about him. So let's come up with some stuff about Chauncey. I do have that he is a wizard, actually. So I would think that being a wizard and being a concierge means that he's probably not too high level. He probably got enough magic in order to get the basic spells. You know, he's got prestidigitation, mage hand, dancing lights, that kind of thing. I'm trying to think of like what other spells. He's probably got unseen servant. He's very bored all the time. Yeah, a little bit. What race was he? I suppose I probably could give you the race. What race are you drawing him as?
Like a half elf.
Half elf. I do have him listed as human.
As human. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
but that's all right. Keep drawing half elf Chauncey.
I was doubting myself, wondering if it was either half elf, human, or for some reason I had gnome in my head.
Yeah, I had. We had a discussion. I think it's an episode. The episode coming up next week. So a little bit of a preview spoiler there is Colby and I have a discussion about how there are not very many humans in Aneria when you guys meet NPCs. I tend to go with a lot of like different races because I like a more eclectic cast. And so we ended up coming up with a few like different human NPCs in the next episode. The one that you're actually not in. You are not in next week's episode just because you had the COVIDs.
Had the Rona. I'm putting him in some kind of.
He is the unseen servant. Oh yeah, he just got hit with fairy fire one too many times. Well, let's see. So I'm gonna go to D&D Beyond, and I'm gonna create. Let's create Chauncey. Let's just do that. That's a thing we can do. Do I have a free character slot? No, because I don't have the big. I should just upgrade sometime. I would say if we're going to talk about him being a wizard, I want to say he's level 5. We'll just set him at level 5.
Okay.
And I need a notepad so I can write these down because who knows? You may run into Chauncey again someday. So level 5 human wizard. School of Conjuration, I think, would be a perfect school for him.
Enchantment. He's got a little fedora. Or fez. Fez is cool.
Tiny little fez. Oh, I like that.
Fez is
I like that a lot.
I figured he has like it's not a kimono, but like a sleeveless
yeah.
Proper not what do they call those? Gi? No.
Yeah, a gi.
That's the right word? Yeah.
I believe so.
Then maybe some like puffy pants. Because you're in the desert and you gotta have parachute pants. I don't know why.
Yeah.
I don't make the rules. I just watch cartoons.
So let me get a random 5e stat roller.
All right.
Because I'm going all out on this. Why not? That sounds like fun. That sounds like something I could do. All right, so we've got a 7, a 16, a 13, a 7, a 14, and a 9. So obviously we're going to go intelligence. That's a 16.
Are you sure? I mean, I would use that as your dump stat.
Yeah, for sure.
Thanks,
wisdom is 14. I think he's a very wise person.
Brian, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. now that I'm seeing it, he says, just drawing Abu from Aladdin in human form. Yeah, that's true.
Scott asks if this is your first time getting the Rona.
Yes. Other than when I got the shot, that was probably the sickest. Was the first time. At least the most violent, I should say. But this one is still crappy. And honestly, it was mostly just losing my voice and then just like having a residual cough for several weeks. Pain in the butt.
That is always a pain in the butt for sure.
A long Rona. What am I looking for? I'm looking for something.
It's been a long Rona, getting from there to here. All right, so I went with a 7 in strength, with the dump stat there. Kind of makes sense. He's an old man. We went with a 7 in dexterity too, just because he is again, he's an old man. For con, I actually went with 9, the 9 that we got. And then we did the 16 for int, 14 for wisdom, and then charisma. I'm going to do the 13 in charisma. Because you have to be at least a little personable if you're going to be...
Right.
Yeah.
You can't have no diplomacy.
Yep, exactly. Fia, thanks for joining us. Back to your game. And then Casey says, glad you're getting better, by the way.
Thank you. I am happy to not be better. Yeah, it was like the fevers and I'm over it. I'm done.
Yeah. Please, I don't even want to think about it anymore. Oh, okay. So 3 cantrips. And so we've got at least 6 first level spells. And then
I don't know why, but I'm imagining like the Cloudy with the Chance of Meatballs dad's face.
Oh yeah, a little bit of James Caan's character. Yeah, I like that. So, and then we've got 2 for each level for free, so that means 8 more spells minimum. Beyond that, and because that's the funny thing is, like, when you build a character and you start them out at a specific level higher than level 1, and you're specifically doing like a wizard or a spellcaster, you tend to forget that, like. Or actually, for wizards specifically, you forget that your character would have progressed and not been able to grab all 4th level spell slots or anything like that, right? You would have to go with, okay, at this level, I knew these spells, so I could have gotten this many of this many of that kind of thing. Yeah. I'm kind of going to play loose with that just because I don't care too much. This is an NPC that will never show up again. But we're going to do it anyway.
I give him a little bit bigger ears just because as you grow older as a human,
Yes,
your ears continue to grow. I'll give him a little bit.
Or your head shrinks.
Or your head shrinks. In my dad's case, you lose an inch in your height.
Oh.
So that's always fun.
That is...
I had to qualify that at the end because I realized that could also be taken in a really weird way. So
yeah, an inch in height. Like, why are you? Why I don't. How do you know that about your father?
You still do.
All right. So for cantrips, I think we've already got 2 of them. It's got to be prestidigitation, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then Mage Hand, I think, is a good one for him, right?
Mm-hmm.
I actually need to pull up the rules for Wizard again because I need to make sure that at level 5 you don't get a new cantrip or anything. You do, so he does have 4 cantrips now. 4 cantrips and a maximum of 3rd level spells.
What about would he ever be involved in any of the parades or the theatrics? Would he take something like pyrotechnics?
I would say probably not for this character. I do like him having like control fire though, or control flames.
Like be able to
think that makes sense.
Yeah, trouble or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, basically he's the one who runs around in case that there's some fire going on.
Counterspell.
Oh, message. How about message?
Message, yeah, that's a good
As a concierge, it is up to him to make sure that everything is in working order. Message is a perfect spell.
Well, let's see. Is message, or would it be sending? Because message has a finite distance, right?
Yeah, message has a finite distance, but that works for over like a hotel because it actually works through walls. I think you just need to
It's like 200 feet
point in the
or
direction.
something like that, right?
I'm pulling it. I have it listed here. I don't know why. I'm just like trying to think about it. You point your finger towards a creature within range, 120 feet,
120.
and whisper a message. The target and only the target hears the message and can reply in a whisper that only you can hear. You can cast the spell through solid objects if you are familiar with the target and know it is beyond the barrier. Magical silence, 1 foot of stone, 1 inch of common metal, a thin sheet of lead, or 3 feet of wood blocks the spell.
Or telepathy?
So as far as cantrips go, I think message.
Cantrip. Got it.
Yeah, this again, just the cantrips, right? I wouldn't think telepathy is a cantrip.
No, you have he has a helm of telepathy. It's a fez of telepathy. That's what it is.
Yep.
Fuzzelepathy. Hurry, create a custom maitre de. I like it. Maitre de lines.
That'd be something like calm emotions. Where like, I'm sorry, there's going to be a bit of a wait tonight, and then they're like,
"What do you mean?
Okay. Yeah, all right then.
Why don't you sit down? Why do I suddenly smell patchouli?"
I do like coming up with spellcasters and coming up with their spell list and practical spellcasters. Everybody, I believe this latest episode, everybody met Madame Talvain. And I like spent way too long coming up with her spell list because she has a dual spell list because she was a mage hunter and now she's like a children's bookstore owner. And it's like, what would a former mage hunter have as spells now and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that's cool.
I'm very excited about Madame Talvain, actually. I'm probably too excited about her, to be fair. All right, so that takes care of cantrips. First level spells. I think, again, one thing about mages, I think, is that every mage, in an area at least, has shield and magic missile. That is just like the baseline. Whenever you're learning magic, you always learn magic missile and shield.
What was his strength modifier that you put in there?
He was at a 7 strength.
Okay, so he's pretty frail.
Yes, so he's pretty frail. So shield and magic missile are definitely like 2 of the first 6 spells that he's learned. Just because that's your standard, and then we've got 4 other spells, and I think specifically he went to school for like to learn magic to assist him in a career of servantry, butlery, conciergeness.
I was gonna. What's the one? Escort.
Escorting
from I was thinking Firefly. But.
Yeah, exactly. He went to escort school. Exactly. So I think
got such a refined mustache.
Comprehend languages. That's a great first level spell to grab. And if you have some, shout them out in the chat. If you've got some other ones that you think would work really well here. A career in buttling, exactly.
Buttling.
If you had a butler, what would you name it?
Alfred. Thank you, Alfred.
Yeah.
That's the trick. If you ever have kids, just name your kid Gotham. And your wife will roll over and go like, honey, Gotham needs you. Then you just jump out of bed and makes it easier.
It's true. You got to build yourself a cave in that.
That's true. A man cave.
A man cave. Let's see. Why don't we do Expeditious Retreat?
Chansey, Chansey, Chauncey.
CAU or CAH. CA. Oh my gosh, brain. CHAUNCY is how I have it spelled.
Okay.
CHAUNCY.
Okay.
Chauncey. There's little Chauncey.
Chauncey.
Yeah. So he is he is a balding man with perfectly styled hair and build, is how I described him.
Balding.
Yep. So his whole physique is not physique, but his whole style is very like perfectly coiffed, as it were.
Okay.
Oh, Firefly escorts are called companions.
Companions, okay. That's what it was. Yeah. Sorry,
and then Brian says, "Aren't butlers people who come with their own names?" Yes, they are.
Let's see. All right, let's put those together. Groups.
Floating disc, I think, would be another good first spell that he would have learned. Grease. We could do grease. I'm going to say Long Strider. And that makes the first 6. And then we've got another 8 that we can do. And 2 of them have to be first level. And then we can move on to second level. Again, I'm playing like way too deep into this. Do you think that he'd have sleep?
I would think so. If you let's say you have somebody come down and be like, "I'm having trouble sleeping," kind of thing.
Yeah.
Kind of like the wasn't it Game of Thrones where they'd be like, "Oh, I've concocted you this blah blah blah."
Yeah, a draught.
You know, got you a draught.
A draught. Yeah.
AKA not alcohol.
Yeah. Unseen Servant. Forgot about that. Yeah. Unseen Servant. And this doesn't necessarily mean that this is the specific order that he got these in.
Let's see. Blame enough to let them call them anything. His whole physique is balding.
Sleep to break up fights or unruly guests. Yeah, pretty much like he is the ultimate anti-Karen. Kara walks up and starts complaining. He's just like sleep, and she falls asleep, and he doesn't have to deal with her anymore. I wish I could do that.
That's only when it has to escalate, right?
Yes.
Otherwise, it's he first uses calm emotions, and when that doesn't work, and she casts the spell, "I'd like to speak to your manager." That's when he puts her to sleep, and
and it just calls it good there.
Calls it good.
So at 3rd level, I think he picked up Borrowed Knowledge, which is a 2nd level spell that I think works really well for him.
Yeah.
And
especially if he acts as like tour guide kind of thing, it'd be nice if it's antiquities and legend lore.
And let's say, what is another good one? Anybody got a good 2nd level spell that might work here?
Fireball. Oh wait, no.
Fireball. That's 3rd level. Magic Mouth, maybe? No.
I could use it like if somebody is like, "Hey, I want you to wake me up at like the crack of dawn or something." He could use Magic Mouth to make little alarms.
Yeah. Locate Object. Locate Object is definitely another spell.
Or Locate Person in the event that they bring children.
Yep. You can, I mean, like, he makes arguments to try and make Locate Object work for people. Like, a child is just an object of its parents, so perhaps that's good enough. And then I think Pyrotechnics is a 2nd level spell, but I don't think he would have done that one. Suggestion's a good spell.
Would he, now here's a question. He's a concierge. Would he be a part of any scheme? I'm not going to say schemes, but I am going to say schemes that what's her face, Ruby from the Ruby Oasis might be planning. Like, "Oh, there's a dignitary coming. I want you to influence them in a certain way."
I'm sure there is probably a little bit of that for sure. Wizards do not have conjure food and drink, unfortunately. That is clerics and druids, I believe.
Druid.
Food? Let me just verify that, because I might just be looking up the wrong thing. Yeah, there's nothing under food for wizards.
Can you imagine a druid's like, welcome to my shop. Well, what kind of foods do you do? I have good berry pie. I have good berry this. I have good berry. Do you have anything that's not good berry flavored? No, I don't. But I have dust of deliciousness.
It is delicious too. Just as long as it's not the meat pies from
yes.
from Strahd, right?
Yes.
All right, I've almost got his spell list here, so we're almost there. We've got one more level of spells that he just learned, a couple third level spells. Animate dead. No.
Well, in the event he needs to, clean up after a fight or something, he can make the dead go bury themselves.
Yep. Let's see. Got one more that I need to find here. Okay. Yep. I think that's right. Okay, so here's his official spell list for Chauncey. If you want to put him into your game too. Would he have a familiar? I didn't give him find familiar. What would his familiar be, Preston? Let's give him a familiar. He at fourth level he took the
Where did he grow up?
adept.
Would he grow up in the desert, or did he grow up in the city and they moved out to the desert?
I would say that he probably he's in the Oasis now, but he probably grew up along a coastal village near the desert.
Perhaps an exotic beetle, like a scarab beetle.
Okay, like a cool little like golden blue scarab or something like that. That could be cool. So instead of giving him familiar as one of his spell, actually, you know what? Wizards can just copy spells into their spell book. So yes, he picked up find familiar.
Okay. Right.
Yeah, I'm just gonna make it easy instead of like talking about giving him a feat for that. A toupee is the familiar. Ooh, an animated bell.
A toupee.
An animated bell would be very interesting. But yeah, I do like the scarab idea.
Let's go with this.
The scarab's name can be Bell.
The light is like glaring right there. There we go.
Yeah, so we've got for his cantrips, we got Prestidigitation to clean things up, Mage Hand to kind of give him an extra hand to move things around with, Control Flames just to ignite torches along his way or snuff them out, Message for helping the staff and coordinating. First level, we've got Shield and Magic Missile, which are just baseline. Anybody who's a wizard with their assault needs to have at least a little bit of magical defense. Comprehend languages.
Just ask
Expeditious Retreat, which allows the creature to make a dash action, which is just more like make haste. He probably like taps somebody and is like, "Hey, I need you to do this really quickly," you know. We've got Floating Disc and Long Strider, which again is just to make things faster. And then, of course, Find Familiar with Bell the Scarab. And then he picked up Sleep and Unseen Servant also at first level. Second level spells, we've got Borrowed Knowledge to give him proficiency where he doesn't have it. Locate Object to help him find who's been stealing from the guests, as it were. Suggestion, just as kind of a way to have people do things without more
nudge.
Efficiently. Yes, it's a subtle nudge. That's all it is. Arcane Lock is the other second level spell that I gave him, just because it's pretty handy to be able to lock something up with magic. Something that a hotel staff member might be like, "Oh, I need to put this away for when Miss Johnson returns so that she can have it prepared." And then the two third level spells, I went with Sending, like we talked about, because it would be good for him to have the ability to send a message out to a specific client or a vendor, as it were, to ask for an update on something. Yes, Miss Johnson is so needy. And then I picked up Catnap as the other spell, which lets him take 3 willing creatures, give them a 10-minute nap of unconsciousness, and it gives them a short rest. So I think that works really well as a
more efficient
as a wizard. Yep.
You don't get 30-minute breaks because this is this is the Ruby Oasis. You want to work here, we're exclusive.
Yeah. And then, of course, he has Minor Conjuration, which is just a conjuration wizard thing, which says that you can use your action to conjure up an inanimate object in your hand or on the ground in an unoccupied space you can see within 10 feet. It can be no larger than 3 feet on a side and weighs no more than 10 pounds. And its form must be that of a non-magical object that you've seen. And it disappears after an hour. So it is. It's one of those things. It's one of those little things where he's just like, "Oh, you need something quickly. I can hand you a screwdriver so that you can do your work," and then it disappears. Not that screwdrivers exist in an area, but there we go. Well, great job, Preston. You drew Chauncey.
Gotta have the Phillips head.
He looks great, and actually, that is pretty accurate to what I had in mind for him. He was a little bit more bald than that, but I like what you have here. This is also just an excuse to get you to draw old characters. Artificers everywhere would say that screwdrivers do exist. Yes, it's an urban legend. All artificers think that screwdrivers exist, but they've only heard about them. Nobody's ever seen one.
Mm-hmm. All right, there's Chauncey.
Perfect. So I think we'll go ahead and see if anybody has any suggestions.
All right.
Anybody have any art suggestions for Preston to draw? If not, I'll just do another. I will just do another character from memory, but we don't have to put him through that if we don't want to. Dragons, screwdrivers.
Who needs screwdrivers when you have a dragon?
It's that meme with the one girl like.
Level 31 half.
With Drake, like dragons, and then he's screwdrivers. Like
Brian, would we call it absurd?
Absurd.
A level 31 half everything DM.
It's true. I am everything. I think. That's always an interesting prospect. Like, there's been discussions that I've read before about drawing your character's party and whether or not to include the DM in like the big sweeping party thing. Because most people will be like, "Oh yeah, put the DM in there as like the cloaked figure holding the D20 in the background or something like that." And I think if we ever got any sort of like commission for drawing the whole Wayward Watch or anything like that, I think I would prefer to be just a favorite character instead, a favorite NPC, or the villain in the background, but preferably just like the NPC to be in there that everybody loves, which it probably would be. It probably would be Cass. Let's be fair. If we were to draw a character and we wanted to include a not member of the Wayward Watch that kind of encompass the GM, I think it would be Cass.
Yes. Or Killabix.
Well, yeah, or Killabix. That's true. That is very true. Well, I'm not seeing any suggestions here, so that means I'm gonna have to give you another from memory.
Okay, let's do it.
It's gonna be Chauncey again. Nope, it's a crit this time for number 20, which is number 20 is the Mother of Venom.
This was the spider lady in the Beast Court, or not the Beast Court, when we went into the swamp.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, she was. Now, was she? If I remember correctly, in my head, I had them all. And might be me, whatever. I'll just draw whatever. But in my head, her, the harpies, everyone else, they were true. In my head, they were just like, I don't want to say beasts, but beasts with the ability of telepathic speech or speech.
So
is that accurate?
Yeah,
just as like a blanket statement without getting.
So as far as nature spirits go, and we can specifically reference the trio here because you've seen them in both forms.
Mhm.
Basically, they each have an animal form that represents their specific species, and then they have a human form, which kind of takes on traits of the animal form, or a humanoid form, and that's going to be typical with gods that you'll see in Aneria. Is just like most of them have like their natural form, and then they have a humanoid form to talk to people with, and that can either be something as simple as I'm just a human with black hair to I'm a half human or I'm a drider, form if you wanted to go that route. But yeah, this is basically now the challenge of draw an animal. Yeah, was she a full spider or a spider centaur thing? That is, again, like she can be either. She has one of each, or two different forms. When the party met her, she was very much an animal spirit at that point. But of course, like just telling you to draw a spider, and to be fair, I didn't give her too much of a description when I introduced her, other than giving her a name and referencing that she was a spider. Just because I don't need to tell you what a spider looks like. Everybody can put a spider in their heads. Humanoid, but with spider features. Yeah, that could be too. Upright, basically like. Did you ever watch Clone Wars, Preston?
I watched some of them. Yes, I have not.
There's a race that they use a lot in Clone Wars that is or at least at one point there's like this separatist general, and he is a spider person, a Star Wars like spider alien race. Okay. Spider race Star Wars. What is that race called? The Krina. Nope, that is wrong.
The Thrycreen.
that is a creature. The Harch is the name of the species. They're called Harch. Okay. And they literally have like humanoid bodies, but they have like 4 arms and fuzz and spider faces with like full multiple eyes and the weird little creepy mouth, kind of thing.
Okay.
Admiral Trench was the guy's name. Rose Thompson is Flash Thompson's mother, the first Venom after Spider-Man lost the symbiote. What were we talking about? Oh, Mother of Venom. Okay, all right.
Touché,
Edwin, thank you. Yep. You win a point for tonight for confusing me and then making me laugh.
Here is your extra nerd card for the day.
Yeah, exactly. Oh boy.
Feel free to give it out to somebody and convert them to the fold.
Yep. By the way, as you're drawing this, I will talk to everybody about the stream. Next week, we will not be having a stream. We are going to be taking a break because that's Thanksgiving weekend. So we're just going to call it chill there. So, and then the following week, it will actually be Preston on his own, if he remembers.
Easy peasy.
Yeah. So you all will be able to just talk directly to Preston instead of having to go through me first and to curate your responses. Yes, he does get one epic die. Thank you, Edwin.
And advantage on your next roll.
Yep. And Flash Thompson, Flash Thompson didn't get the Venom symbiote before Eddie Brock. I know he got it afterwards.
Carnage.
Let's see. First appearance, blah, blah, alien costume. Yeah, it was Eddie Brock first. But I like Flash Thompson's version better. Both his anti-Venom suit, which he was anti-Venom for a while there, which is basically just like they negative flipped the colors. And then he was Agent Venom. I think he's the current Venom right now, and he's Agent Venom, which is a really cool look to it. And then, of course, you had Mac Gargan in there, the former Scorpion that was Venom as well. I know a lot about about superheroes, so I could talk about it forever. But I won't. That would be a boring stream. We're just going to sit here in silence instead.
Yes. Alzheimer's.
Mhm.
I'm just kidding.
She's beautiful. I love her.
Sheila.
I love her already. But yeah, so we've got some fun things coming. Next Tuesday is the first session for our Into the Abyss game that we're going to be playing.
Gonna be cool.
Yeah, Jamie Brock. Then exactly. Yeah, I'm very excited. I've got my character once again right here. If anybody had not seen Kith yet, she's still not painted, but she will be shortly. In fact, that's the reason why she's up here, is because I plan on ending the stream, getting started on pre-edits, and painting my figure at the same time.
Yes.
That is my monk character. Yep. That is my lizard folk monk of the astral soul. And then Preston, we haven't talked. I don't even know what you're playing, man.
I am a druid.
Druid.
I'm going to playing a druid. He is of gnomish descent.
Okay.
He is. There's some surprises in store that I'm not going to go into, but he is. He's unique. He's as far as druids go, he has a very strong fascination with spores, right? So he's a circle of spores druid, and that's kind of what got him kind of as deep as he got in the Underdark, and
makes sense.
got him a little bit lost, and just realized one day that, hey, I haven't gone back up in a while. Oh well, and decided that was just natural, and he didn't feel like going up anymore. So
yeah, okay, all right then.
But he also has a level into cleric. So he is he finds his god in the Underdark. Who that is?
Oh, very nice.
You guys will find out.
Yeah, I know that Scott was saying that you sent him the list of things that you needed printed for your character, because as a druid you have to send the extra list for creatures, right? And he said that he literally shook his head at the absurdity of some of your choices.
Yes.
Not in a bad way, just in like a classic Preston.
Yep. Gotta keep you on your toes.
Yeah, I'm very excited to meet everybody's character.
Yeah,
actually, it's going to be a lot of fun. My character, I'm a little concerned because my character is very much they are not a nice person. They're not a friendly lizard folk, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Like I will make sure that they have enough of a reason to stick with the party rather than go off on their own or not want to be there. But at the same time, they are not going to be the type that comes around to being friends with people very easily. Yeah. So it's going to be an interesting, I really hope that I can play it to where I don't just come off as a complete and total a-hole.
I feel ya. That's something that I always have a hard time with too, is I want to be agreeable, but then there's sometimes if you want to play that edgy character and then giving the ability to have people feel like you're edgy without being a douche. It's a hard line to toe.
Yep. I think the easiest way that I'm going to be able to do this is I'm going to go condescending.
Okay.
As it were, because it's a lizard folk. She doesn't believe that soft skins really have anything to offer. They don't have scales. Fair. They don't have claws. You're just inferior creatures, and I pity you a little bit. So I'm going to continue to follow you around out of a sense of pity,
right?
And probably a little bit of loyalty, because lizard folk have a lot of loyalty. So hopefully within the first session, there's that moment where the party proves themselves capable enough that she can swear her loyalty. Yeah, useful enough that she can swear her loyalty to them temporarily, or swear her loyalty, and then basically it sticks, right?
Edwin, less murder hobo and more murder entrepreneur. I like the way you think. It's all in the positioning, right?
Yeah, you don't have to call yourself a hobo if you don't want to. And obviously, if it's murder that you're going into the business for, you are more of an entrepreneur.
That's true.
Murder auntie. Yeah.
You could join the 8 Rings easily.
Exactly. They're not a murder cult.
It's not a murder cult at all. All right.
Can you do me a favor with this picture?
What's up?
Can you give me 2 more legs on that spider?
Yes. There's one back here. And I
I
was
just
trying right now. I'm
didn't.
just trying to get the other ones, but yeah,
Yeah.
there's one back here.
Okay, I'm just making sure that we didn't
Eight-legged
forget about
spiders
that because just because I was
Yeah.
like right now it's just an insect
and a
and I don't
arachnid.
like it. Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna do the Shelob-esque
Mm-hmm.
stinger and stuff in the back.
Oh, very
Let's
nice.
see. Drop this
Cucumber,
down.
welcome. We're doing good. How are
Hey,
you?
welcome.
Are you every cucumber or are you just a single cucumber?
I'd like to apologize, Cucumber, for the cucumbers cut up and doused in soy sauce that I had for lunch today. I didn't know. I'm sorry.
Boy, awkward. Ooh, oof. We're just drawing a nature spirit. So welcome to the party, pal. I suppose that's a
welcome.
But yeah, I also have a thing in the backstory for my character where she doesn't trust males as far as any species goes. She thinks that like males are like they're all liars and they're all just a bunch of idiots, right? That kind of stuff.
I can do it.
However, I also have it in there that she doesn't recognize easily which soft skins are males and which are females.
Oh, so
Like
you are male.
at least at first, she's not going to like realize it. I'm going to have like a low DC to be like, does she basically just 50-50 this, or does she recognize the person?
She's going to have a really hard time with mine then. I'm just putting that out there.
Good. I can't wait to meet it. It'll be one of those things where she's just like, I don't know what to make of you.
I don't know. Like, should I trust you? Should I hate you? I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Luckily, Scott's character is playing a female character as well, so we're not going to have an issue with her being like, I want to lead, because I kind of don't at this point. Like, my tendency in games is to when I'm playing is to kind of take control because I don't get to play very often, and I do like my control as a DM apparently, but I'm kind of trying to take a step back and make her a little bit more of a go with the flow kind of character, you know.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, a little bit of a follower.
I think that'll be cool. Yeah, my guy, he'll be kind of more your nonchalant. I didn't want to go the trope of the druid on shrooms and you know, like, hey man, like, what's up? I'm glad you're here. Like, oh man, totally just out airheaded and whatever, just surfer boy type. And but he is very much antisocial. Like, he's willing to help people if he sees that they need help, but he's very much like keep to his own hermitage type. Not like get off my lawn, but more like I will avoid you unless I have to interact. So it'll be fun.
Okay. How does he feel about people hunting animals? Uh,
It doesn't bother him. He's more he would probably see a mushroom having more rights than a living thing.
Okay. All right.
So
he's all in on the mycelium. I love it.
He's mycelium focused.
Very nice. Yeah. Otherwise, Kith would just have to limit herself to just humanoid meat, which, you know, is manageable.
Yeah. So like he'll eat them and stuff, but there's definitely, if you were to put a bag of his precious like collection of spores and things between saving one of his companions, at least day one, and that he would choose the mushrooms without question.
Yeah. I hope nobody watching is arachnophobic, by the way. I didn't think about this, but
that's okay.
I guess a trigger warning.
Here, I'll give him a smile. Her a smile. Smile. Yes.
Smile. Yeah, that's gonna make it. Oh yeah, just a tattoo. It's like a spot pattern. It just looks like a smile.
Pattern with a smile. Yeah, just back here. It'll be like a vague. Fun fact about me. That's unsolicited, doesn't really matter, but we have a turtle, and on the bottom of the turtle, on her, like under her armpit, there is a pattern where she's a red-eared slider, and so it has like this kind of like lighter area, and then the darkened areas, it's an emoji smiley face, like straight up on, then it's like right on her shell. It's really funny.
Oh wow. I didn't even know you had a turtle. That's awesome.
Hey, Jason, how's it going, man? Don't show Jen fuzzy. Oh yeah, if Jen, Jen, don't come in the chat. Don't
Please
do it.
no.
So
Yeah, liking this
you're
really.
welcome.
I don't think we've ever had you draw an animal before, and you're doing a great job with it.
Thanks.
Like, I mean, obviously you've done a lot of art and you've gone to school with a little bit of art focus at least. I don't know how heavy you went into the art classes or anything when you were in college.
Most of it's like figure drawing and whatever else, but
yeah,
I enjoy drawing creatures and animals. And sometimes
there's a
I
little
make
bit
up
of
the anatomy.
leeway with animals too. Yeah, like that's what you can do, right? Is people don't see animals nearly as much as they see people, so you can kind of be like, yeah, this is exactly how a spider looks.
Yeah, you don't hit that uncanny valley as easily.
Exactly. I actually, oh man, I've been following a lot more artists that are, they generate the AI art, right?
Uh-huh.
And then they just touch it up, right?
Yeah.
And that's how they do their stuff. And I guess I don't mind AI art. I think it's fine. The only issue that I have with it is that it is where the sources come from, right?
Yeah,
because
it's
it
pulling
does
from other artists.
Yeah, if it is just pulling from everywhere on the internet, that means that it's taking art from other people and amalgamizing it, which is not as as kosher to me as if it were just like here's some sources online that
if it's like a
free.
dead master painter type thing, and that you want to be like, hey, I really want to do something that's similar in this vein, and like maybe use that as a starting reference. That I think that's from an ethics standpoint, I think that makes sense. Because a lot of times too, like even in art, right? Like there's a lot of times that people will emulate what I would. It's like having a master and an apprentice type situation. But now that we have online, you don't necessarily have to be their apprentice. You can just see their stuff online. You can see what they do. You can do, and a lot of people will sit and like emulate their style or whatever, and like kind of build their own. So it's in a similar vein. But I feel like I agree with you in that it puts it in a very weird spot if it is generating art based on theirs, and then the person isn't wholly contributing to the creation of the artwork, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? Like as far as the composition, as far as like the colors, it just puts it in a really weird like ethics area that I'm not quite comfortable with yet. But I do see the value in, like, for instance, like viz dev. I can see a huge amount of help if like a director for a movie, right, and says, hey, I really want something along these lines, and he's trying to explain something that's so far-fetched or whatever else, being able to have an AI be able to give like a general like shape and like composition and be like something like this, like dark and moody or blah 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 blah, and being able to use that as like a starting point, I think it's good for a communication tool. But I agree with, if it's pulling from existing artists, that it just, as an artist, that is a risk of automation, right? I think everybody faces a little bit of that in our everyday lives, is automating that job away, and the creativity that comes with actually building it yourself. So it's an interesting,
I get that.
It's an interesting topic to.
It kind of depends on how far things progress too, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Like right now it's more of a novelty.
Yeah.
Than anything else. Like, even on its best day, like I've seen some of the really good AI stuff, and I'm like, that is really cool. There's some cool backgrounds to this.
But the human eyes are like weird and like glossy.
But the human eyes are weird, and like everything. Like I can spot an AI image as compared to a normal one immediately. Like I'm like, this is too shiny. Like everything is a little too crisp and clean. And then typically I kind of go like, yeah, this is great, but if I put in the AI generator 100 times to give me, like I saw one recently that was, it was constellations as gods, right? And it was just on TikTok, and it was showing a few, and I was like, you put that in 100 times, and yeah, you're going to get some different stuff, but it can kind of look all a little bit the same, but you can give that to 100 different artists, and they'll all draw something unique, you
Right.
know.
It's true.
Yeah, she's definitely looking good. Now, Joe said that he was up in his attic
Yeah.
earlier. I didn't read that.
The paint's
He
done,
said he
right?
was yeah, he's got the paint done on the house.
Congrats.
He's getting the wiring ready to
Ooh.
move back into the house. So that's
If you could come
always,
finish the wiring in mine, I would also appreciate it. I got some Cat 6 that's been sitting in a box since I moved in.
yeah. And obviously, like, I go on, going back to the whole AI thing, I go on Stable Diffusion, just they have a demo version there that you can do. And the art is always like, yeah, okay, that's fine, but it's not, it's never, it's always just a good jumping off point, like you said.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like I have that one of Kes that I posted on the fan art, I think is where I posted it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I'm like, that's really, this is really cool. And I love the design of the outfit that I have on this one, but it's very much I give this to artists and say, hey, commission, like, here's a baseline. Here's what I like about this.
Yeah, I agree. Because this right here, so I'm showing it. It'll take a second to catch up with it, but I done similar with like Mid-Journey Bot, where I was like looking at like different ideas for like trying to get it tripped up. So you guys might see some different stuff that's from like a Holobin Sanctum, right? I was trying to see if it could come up with cool ideas of what that portal might look like for fairy dragons, or
very cool.
Or earlier there was a friend who wanted like a possum coin and like some really weird stuff. But it's fun because then you get like those ideas and it starts to generate things that otherwise, it might take a little bit longer. This is actually Livingston Custom Fab is still in the chat. I was doing one for him called for Drop Dead Fred.
Oh yeah.
If you guys have ever seen that movie.
I don't think I've seen that one.
Or Demon Baby Pug. This is Demon Baby Pug. So if you ever hear me reference Demon Baby Pug and Demon Angel Pug, they are the ones that give and take away. So you need to give them your unfeelty. Or if this is the last one I'll show here, but if you had Lisa Frank meets Guild Wars art.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's really, really crazy. Or like this one, I guess there's one more. But this one was one that I was messing with for the statue of Lady Crestor.
Oh yeah, it's all kind of like that. Very much looks like a portrait of Dorian Gray as a statue form, right?
So like when she dies or something, like it goes from that beautiful porcelain to something that inverts, and I don't know. It's fun to like just kind of brainstorm, because then from there it's like, as an artist or as a person that you want to jump off of. Oh, I guess just kidding. One more. I did this for hours and hours. This is Iron Man Monkey. Or Iron Man Chimp.
Oh. Iron Man together strong. I like how you can still see the Iron Man in the lip too.
Yeah.
Like you very much got that, like, kind of like, oh yeah, that's metal there,
Yeah. So anyway, that's just a little foray that I agree with you. Like there's cool stuff about it, and I sat and messed with it and tried to get it to do different artists, NCYF or and it does a pretty good job. It's definitely, but from what we've said earlier, is there's also that there's an element there that it just doesn't, it feels lifeless, or it feels like it's empty.
Yeah, it feels like it was generated by a machine, right?
Yeah.
But like you were showing off the pugs, and which, by the way, what the Yenko says, Demon Baby Pug versus Angel Baby Pug. We're gonna have to put that down as a suggestion for if we have time. Or I'm just making a suggestion bank now, so that when we have no suggestions, I can just be like, oh, let's pull one from the old list, kind of thing. But I do like something like that, because you can turn that into an avatar really easily. Right?
Yeah. Like and I would never go around and turn and sell it, but like you said, like if you wanted to use it for like something that's unique, that you're not gonna have some artist on the internet. It's like, hey, you're using my art as your whatever. It kind of removes that a little bit from something that's innocuous as a profile picture, or something that's more branding related. That's just you.
Exactly. Yeah.
But if you it definitely, and I guess the last part was like, because there's a couple artists that I would love to paint better as, and like to go, but I also don't necessarily want to go and copy their stuff. And without doing like I can't remember what they called them in school. I think it was like a masterwork copy where you take like the Mona Lisa and then you try and paint the same thing and match colors and like try and do a copy to get that same look and feel. Without doing something like that, it's like it's really hard to pick up on some of the sensibilities that they have, like the way that they use line art and color and all that stuff. Oh, thank you, Ticknugger Joe. And yes, Bluetooth speaker up in the rafters. Nice. Hopefully there's not a lot of fiberglass. I know in my house it was built in the 50s, 60s. So there's lots of good old fiberglass up there. So
yeah,
lots of dust. It's the type that like the second you touch the insulation, it gets everywhere and you itch. It's the worst. That's why I don't want to do it. Enjoyed Victor's reactions, relationship progression with Lyra. Thank you.
That is always fun. I do like their relationship. I think that's one of my favorite things, and it's very much just kind of like they're a couple that they both have stuff going on and they know it, so they just like when we're together, we'll have fun and we'll do our little courting thing. But it's not to the point where it's like we have to spend all of our time together.
Exactly. Well, and I think that it's that thing too. Like in real life, I feel like if you're courting someone, and especially in today's day and age, trying to date, or as an older adult, it's hard when you both have your own kind of life going on, and makes it difficult. But what I was hoping too is that with this courtship, right now they're trying to settle the dispute of who's going to take whose name, kind of thing.
Yeah,
and Victor's not quite willing to concede yet, so but he knows that she's probably stronger than he is. So,
does she even have a last name?
I don't think she does yet. At least in lore, I don't think we've revealed it. So
yeah, I know her nickname is Amber Eyes.
Amber Eyes, yep.
Yeah, but
so
I don't remember if I ever gave her a last name. Yeah, we'll have to discuss that because I'd like your input on that for sure. And my phone's at 1%. I think you're the first person on the stream to pronounce my handle properly. So,
Tanaka Joe?
Yeah. Tanaka. Yep.
Tanaka.
Well, get your phone to the charger, quick.
My brain always wants to say TikToker Joe for some reason, so I'm glad we said it right.
TikToker Joe. That's the perfect name.
New name, who dis?
And obviously, like, what I would want to try, going back to the whole AI thing, because I need to keep talking about it.
That's good.
I would like to try one of the more like expensive ones, right?
Yeah.
Because right now I've just been using like the free ones, but I'd like to see what a true like pay to play AI generator can do, and like really dig in and see if I can like make something amazing come out of it. Yeah. And I've seen so far is I've mostly like the most impressive ones that I've seen besides on TikTok. There's a bunch that come up that are like AI generated gods and things like that.
Yeah.
But the only other thing that I've seen that I've been impressed by as far as the art quality goes is there are people who take the paid versions and they do anime girls, right? Really? Which is like it's a really fast and easy way to make an anime girl. And there are some horror ones out there, but like most of them are like most of the ones that I've seen that they end up posting. I'm like, oh wow, that's actually really good. The only problem is, again, an AI doesn't know how to frame a picture either. Yeah. So half the time you get the head cut off on a character that you're trying to create, right? And you're like, this body is really good, but there's no head on it. So there's no way I can use that.
Yeah, that's
no power at the outlets. Of course you're running your wires.
Oh no.
I forgot already.
Stay safe. If we don't hear back from you soon, we'll send a search party.
Yep.
Yeah, the speaking of the anime girls, I was trying to get the Midjourney bot, the one that I was using. I was trying to get it to do Aloma as Sailor Moon. Doing the full on like anime, magical girl transformation.
The pose, yeah.
And it came up with some really weird stuff. It all felt very Inuyasha to me, but yeah, it was fun.
That's awesome. And that I do like putting that in. I like just putting in like just a character name.
Yeah.
I want to just put in Chauncey and see what I get now. But yeah, just see what and basically see what the internet thinks or what AI finds on the internet that relates to the character, right?
Yeah. Or like what the feeling is. It's kind of like when you name your kid, it's a very weird thing that I never thought I'd have to do, but it was always you have to get past your own judgmental bias of like,
Yeah.
oh no, I knew a Jason and he was a jerk, like, or I knew a Karen and she was really mean to me, and trying to be like, okay, well, you feel that way, but your spouse might feel differently, and like trying to be like, okay, the kid makes the name doesn't make the kid. We got to remember that, like,
yeah.
But it's kind of fun to see what it gets there. Get a power bank.
I'm loving this Mother of Venom that you got here. That's a lot bigger. I like the human for scale.
Yeah, I figured this human
Or
for scale.
gnome for scale.
This would be. We'll say this is a tiefling.
A tiefling
for scale.
Okay,
I don't know.
Perfect.
Humanoid.
Because that matters. It matters which specific race the for scale is.
Yes. I feel like the Mother of Venom would have like tiefling courtesans. Is that the word? Courtiers? No.
Yeah. Well, so courtesan would be like a. I need to look up the official definition here just to be sure I'm not like.
Oh, I like that kohaku. She does have a very Japanese vibe. Do you, Tinaker, do you mind if we maybe borrow the name Kohaku for her last name? That'll be your tie-in to the Aneria.
Yeah, I'm just gonna grab that if you're all right.
I think that's cool. That's a cool name, Kohaku. It means amber in Japanese.
Do I have Lyra in here? I do not, but I'm gonna put her down.
Use it, okay, Tanaka. It is in the annals of history that Lyra Kohaku is it's now canon.
Perfect. Yeah, a courtesan is just is actually a high class companion.
Oh, that's right.
Okay. Yes, so
that's somebody who would be like on the arm of a dignitary type thing.
Yeah, paid for services that will be rendered later in the evening.
Yeah, makes sense.
Which as far as I think the word you might be looking for is consort.
Consort, yes.
Would that be a good one for? Yeah, the Mother of Venom has a few consorts for
attendees.
Sure.
Yeah, like people that.
Yeah, if it's like a servant, then it's like an entourage, right?
Yeah, this would be hers, and then I was thinking for her other form, it might be a little different, but I don't like the way this is breaking the form. I'm going to change the angle of that because it's bothering me.
It is an alias. The character's name is an alias for Joe.
Oh. Yes, it's an alias.
And anybody who happens to speak both European and the European language that this comes from and Japanese in this fantasy world, so is going to be like, wait, Amber Fox, that's a fake name.
A minute.
In a minute, I'm gonna need another minute.
Another sentimental arachnid woman to pump me up.
To pump me full of venom, more like.
Be she lobbed.
Yep.
Renard Kohaku. Okay. So, what if Renard is her father?
Makes sense. Yeah. Yeah.
What do you think, Tucker? What do you think?
I'm gonna write it down. I don't care what he thinks.
Me up.
Yes, that's perfect. We missed it. We got there in the end as a group, but we missed it.
Well thought.
Yeah. In a minute, I'm gonna need a sentimental spider lady to wrap me up.
Right. I want to make sure I say it's what the Yenchenko, right?
That's right. What the Yenchko? Yinchko?
Yinchko? Yes. Sorry, my the Twitch is over here, and then the YouTube's is over here, so I'm catching up.
Yeah, people need to realize that if they
Okay.
come to our streams
There you go.
and chat with us, they'll eventually have a character in Tales of Aneria.
It's true. Hey, are you done? Are you done being annoying? Huh? Give me 1 second. I'm gonna mute to send them OUT.
Okay. Well, it's just me on my own, I believe. I'm a little behind because I'm only watching the stream cam, but yeah, that was a dog, guys.
Yes,
I
little
don't know.
Ollie in his sweater, and to my everlasting shame, Bastion, the other dog, has the exact same sweater on. They have matching sweaters.
Adorable. I don't think you should be ashamed of that at all.
I never thought I was going to be a pet owner with clothes for my dogs, but here I am.
We dress Dodger up as Captain America every year, so it's the same costume, but it still fits him, and it's fine. He doesn't like it, but he tolerates it at least. So. Yeah. So I guess the question is Renard, because Lyra is a half elf.
Okay.
Is Renard a half elf, or did Lyra get adopted by a kitsune?
We'll say she was adopted.
Adopted. Perfect. Lurking in watch mode, couldn't stay away. Welcome, Bosco. I knew it. I knew you couldn't stay away. How's that work going? You got all your reports done? I didn't at work today.
I need your TPS report, and if you could come on Sunday, that'd be great.
All right, Joe. We're talking a little bit more about Renard then, because he is a kitsune. How many tails does he have? Again, kitsune earn their tails by basically bonding with either elemental spirits or ancestral spirits. And he probably completely lost power to his phone now, and I'm just talking to the void. Doing my second job cleaning a construction building. Oh, okay. Alrighty. Did you scrub all of those reports clean then?
Scrub it up.
Cleaning the books, maybe? Wink. I got it. Yeah. Bosco definitely works for the mafia, right?
I like it. I worked as a janitor for an elementary school for many years.
The only time I've ever done cleaning was when I was little. My mom cleaned a little bit for a friend's business, and we went over and we didn't help them too much with the cleaning. We just kind of ran around.
Right.
And then when when my dad got sick, they went to our local church to ask for help, and they agreed to help if we cleaned the church and vacuumed it every Thursday or so. And nice. So we would go through and vacuum the church. I'm not too happy about it these days. The whole idea of we're in need and you're like, yes, but we're going to make you do stuff for it, instead of being good Samaritans. But I understand where that's coming from. It's just one of those things where it's kind of just really, really, really make those public books shiny. Only one tail lost status for opposing his father, who is the leader of their clan. Really stretching out that 1%. Yes, you are.
The longest yard, the longest 1%. That's one thing I look for, that I do as a father. That's probably evil of me, but if the kids are like, hey, I don't want to do XYZ, then you just take away the charger and watch their souls slowly die as the battery gets lower and lower and it just shuts off.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, would you like to do your chore to get this back?
That's funny. We used to do chores for little scraps of money, right? Or you'd get a quarter for doing the dishwasher, or $1 for, obviously I think it started out as a quarter, but then it evolved into $1 as jerks. Why are we jerks? What is up with us being jerks?
I am a jerk.
Oh, you're probably, Casey's probably talking about the church thing. Still.
Yeah.
But yeah, I remember doing chores for money, and that was basically how you earn things, right?
Mhm.
Like you're like, oh mom, I want to buy this Bionicle, and she's
She's
like,
like,
okay,
great,
but
mow the
you have
lawn.
to do this many things basically to work it off, kind of thing.
Mhm.
And that really like established a whole like idea of you work for money,
Yeah,
kind of stuff.
totally. It's like my son. This is again a tangent, but my son recently. When I say recently, it was probably about like 2 or 3 weeks ago. I got these notifications of about. There was a bunch of like dings on my phone. I was like looking at my phone, and it was like, "You have purchased $5 in Robux. You have purchased
Oh
$5 in
yeah.
Robux."
Oh
And I was
no.
like, "What's going on?" And then I went in there, and my son's like, "Mom said I could." Okay, cool. She wasn't home at the time. So then that night when she gets home, I was like, "Did you say Sterling could buy this stuff?" And she's like, "No." He bought like $150 worth of
Holy
Robux.
crap.
And so then we had to talk to him the
Like
next day. This is called
he wouldn't think
stealing.
that like he wouldn't think that you wouldn't check with your wife.
No, yeah. And so then
Like
we had
kids
this
might not
long
think that far
discussion, and
ahead, right?
he gets it now. Like, but we made this whole thing like a checkbox for each dollar that he used, and he has to earn checkboxes to pay back his debt.
Yeah.
So, and it was partially to teach him about money, but also partially to teach him how like going into debt can be troublesome, more trouble than it's worth.
Yeah.
In a small form, because I'd rather him screw up with $100 than like several $1,000s later on in life, and then be in indentured servitude for the rest of his life.
Exactly. Yep.
Manipulation, volunteering service, mercy ministry funds have been donated for specific purpose. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, it is very much, and obviously that comes from a culture of conservativeness, in my opinion. Like, sorry if we have any conservatives in the chat who don't agree with this. I suppose I'm taking a stance here, but it's one of those things where it's like, yes, working for your money is something that everybody should strive, or working for the betterment of society is something that everybody should strive to do. However, like if you're struggling, forcing somebody to work and do stuff so that you can be generous to them is not generosity. That's just forced labor. It's coercion, Going into debt is almost the only way to get bigger things in life, though. It's true. I have been debt free myself for quite a few years now, but I don't have a new car. I don't have a lot of fancy things, just because it's one of those things where it's like I have to save up that money myself, and that is very difficult and long form, as it were.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think there's that, like you said, there's that healthy relationship where looking at it as an asset to, like, for me, like getting a house, getting a car, things like that makes sense. But like going and buying fast food on a credit card, or unless obviously, like, I know there are some places where, and I do this with my bills, where like I pay all my bills on the credit card, and then I pay the credit card off at the end of the month, with as long as it balances out or whatever. But but yeah, just trying to teach them, because I know for me that was one thing that I struggled with when I went to college, is like, oh, they gave me money, like I can just have money. And I did the calculations, because at the time when I worked for the college doing IT, I used to do basic IT service desk, where I'd go and fix computers and stuff, and I was getting paid like $7.50 an hour, and so
which is good money back then.
It was good money, but then I looked at my thing, and I had bought a plane ticket or something, like a round trip plane ticket, but it was last minute, and it was like $1,500. And I went and like calculated it, and I was like, if I keep making this payment, I'm going to be making payments for 15 years, like, and I can barely afford food right now, like. And it was that existential dread of like, okay, you need to think more before you spend, and that's something I'm trying to really instill.
I maxed out both the credit cards that I got, and upped their limit and maxed them out again before my brain finally caught up with my spending. It was like, hey, you can't do this anymore. You're literally like you're about to get married. You need to kind of get a handle on that kind of stuff.
Something ain't right.
Because it's so easy just to be like, oh yeah, that looks really cool, I want to buy that, and I buy it, kind of thing.
Or like our honeymoon, I put on a card, and I was probably paying that for the first 3 or 4 years of my marriage.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
when you have kids or like any other like big expenses that come by, they always come at the worst times too. I feel like when it rains, it pours.
Yep. Yeah. It always comes in threes,
Yep,
right?
always in threes.
That's how it always feels to me, is like three bad things happen all at once, and you're just like, I've got all these expenses that I now need to do. Luckily, as far as I go, like I'm in a very stable position now because I decided to get out of debt.
That's good.
And yeah, it's true that I can't really do much fancy stuff, but at the same time I get to do the things that I love, and I don't have to worry as much about.
There's a freedom to that.
Yeah,
there's a big freedom to that, and that's like the whole homestead. I've always loved, and this is a little bit of a tangent, but I've always been in love with the idea of getting good enough internet that I could go live in the middle of nowhere.
Oh yeah,
and homestead, or like just be away, like turning off the stuff and just being alone. I'd love the hermit lifestyle.
And I used to think that I would like that, but I am very much the type of person that's like, while I don't like being out in crowds anymore, or like being around a lot of people, being extroverted, I still like the comfort of urban America. That's the urban biome, as it were,
Yeah, being able to get packages from you click a button, and then in less than 24 hours I have a package at my door. That's really nice.
Yep.
Still pay taxes on the lead. Yeah, it's true. You're never free from it. It's absolutely true.
Scott, yes, I am calling you out. He just bought a really cool, I don't know if you saw it on Facebook, his Optimus Prime that he bought.
I hadn't.
Okay, you need to check out his video on Facebook when you get a chance, because he bought a really cool like self-transforming Optimus Prime with voice activation stuff and a lot of really cool features to it. That's cool. And it's awesome. It's like the dream toy from when he was 12.
Right.
It's just one of those things where it's like that was very much a kind of purchase that was just like, this is too cool. I don't want to pass it up.
Right.
Even if I have to pay it off,
There's some of these where it's like I remember as a kid, it always dampened the fun, because you're like, I am Optimus Prime, and then you're like, transform. 5 minutes later, ha!
Wait, how do I do this again? Let me pull out the instruction manual.
It never quite goes back together, right? And you're just like, dang it. Yeah, it's fun.
For my family, we teach do nice things and help people, because it's a good thing to do, and good things will come back to you. Money can come and go, but relationships are priceless.
Being
Agreed.
kind.
And then yes, you cannot take it with you. We're not Egyptian kings, so you have to.
No, I was hoping.
Yeah, you gotta enjoy life, but I think there's a balancing act, right? Where there's because there are things that happen, and you want to make sure that you live long enough and live comfortably enough that you can survive until you die. So you have to have that balancing act of like, yes, I'm going to be a little bit more free with my money and not worry about it, but I'm also not going to be completely free with it.
That's something that I've struggled as a father, is that like, I want to be smart about what I buy and what I don't buy. I want to live my life and enjoy it, but at the same time, it's like, okay, I want to go take the kids to Disneyland and do all these fun things, because you only get, I think, 18 summers with your children, and then they're off, they're gone. Like,
yep.
Well, they're not gone, but they're out in the world. So
they don't want to be around you anymore. Like in that case, there's only like 14 summers, kind of thing, where they want to hang out with you and run around with you.
Welcome to the moms and dads and older people's what do we call this? Anonymous, where we talk about like existential issues.
Yeah, exactly. This is supposed to be an art stream with fantasy connotations, and we're talking about death and taxes.
The inescapable death and taxes.
I don't even know what I was gonna say. I guess just like I agree that you have to teach people to do good things, but I don't think you have to teach them to. I don't think teaching them to announce that they're doing good things is always the right way to go.
No,
like I'm not saying that Bosco. Yeah, I'm not saying that Bosco specifically, his family is doing that. I'm just saying, like the other day, for example, and this is already going to sound like I'm humble bragging here, but the other day, like we were at we're at my parents' house for dinner, just for my dad's birthday. And while I was like cleaning the plates, at one point in the sink, Dad goes, "Oh, you can just leave them in the sink, or you can put them in the dishwasher if you want." And so I waited until the end of the night, and I just went and I put all of the plates and the silverware in the dishwasher, and I didn't say anything. I was actually quiet about it, like I was being sneaky about it because I didn't want to make a big deal out of it. And I didn't say anything at all. My mom later on sent me a text and said thank you, because she apparently heard, or at least Dad heard or something. But it was one of those things where it was like, I didn't do it because of the recognition for it. I just did it because they need help, and everybody can do a good deed every now and then.
Yeah, that's like I feel you. It's one of those ones that for me, I like to give gifts, and I like to give things to people, and I like to feel like that. I don't want anyone to ever feel like they owe me if I give them something, right?
Mhm.
And so the hardest part for me was like my grandparents, right? They're I wouldn't say they're bad off. They're very stable. They've been very smart with their money, and they're being judicious about what they buy and don't buy and whatever. But like where their dishwasher was kind of breaking down, and it was like, okay, like I want to get a bunch of money together and pitch in to give it to them, but they're that type that they won't take it. You know what I mean? So you have to like hide it somewhere in the house, and then next Christmas it ends up in an envelope at your like, and you're just like, no, like,
no, that wasn't what we. No,
this is not the point.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard, like you said, though, but without being like virtue signaling, or like just being like, oh, look at me, like I've done this cool thing for you. It's nice when just society as a whole is like, I'm doing it because I want to be a good human.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Brian, yeah, I'm so sorry to hear that. That's never fun to have to do a good deed and then have somebody be like, "Oh, well, you did it wrong, so now I have to do it." Yeah, like that is that. I hope that you're in a very a good position now, in a better position, living with people who have that kind of toxic personality or toxic traits. It's never fun. I like, man, that's awful. But
Yeah,
I hope you're
stealth acts.
Stealth.
I agree.
Yes, exactly.
It's like
roll stealth for your act of kindness.
Yeah, it's like my favorite, and I guess I don't know if that's one of those videos, but like, and a lot of them are staged online. But when you see somebody that like goes and puts something there, and you don't know who the creator is. Well, I guess you do because it's on the page, but
yeah,
they drop something, and then like they're filming the person's reaction, like when they find it, and they're just like, "Oh yes, thank you." It's nice.
Yeah. Yep. Well, like all of those YouTube videos that are like, I gave this guy $100 and changed his life, kind of thing. That's all fake. Like that is all. Like, I'm not saying that that's like staged, but it's all a bunch of like.
There's a lot of it that's very much like, oh, this looked
like the guy like
homeless person, and
or the guy like runs up and he says, "Here's $100," and the other guy's like, "Thanks," and he's like, "Well, you didn't react good enough, so I need to go do this to somebody else," kind of thing.
Yeah.
And it's like you're just doing that for the views.
The clout.
Scott says, "I give gifts for selfish reasons." He gets immense enjoyment out of giving, and that's awesome. Like that is the one selfish reason that you can give for giving to people, is getting some enjoyment out of it yourself. I'll full on praise my brother here, which is a very rare thing indeed. So everybody take note of the time. He has been extremely generous these past couple of years, both with my parents and with our sister, who just started her family. They just had their first kid. He just turned 1 this year, which but everybody always struggles when they have their first kid, because there's a lot of extra expenses that you're probably not considering or realizing. And he has been very generous with like giving them some grocery money, giving them some stuff to buy some diapers and things like that for the new nephew and everything, and also some stuff for themselves too. And then of course every time he shows off like, oh, we got this cool like a thermometer for the COVID testing, or like a scale or something, and Mom goes, "Oh, I think I should probably get one of those someday." He'll just order it on Amazon and ship it to her, kind of thing, because it's like, yeah, sure, I'll just buy you one right now so that you can have an easier life because of it. So yes, Sing's not brother versus brother.
Brother versus brother.
My big thing is food and clothes. I'll be damned if I let one of my friends go hungry and not have clothes. Agreed.
Yep. That's me too. I like to give, like when we go out to lunch or something, I've been known on occasion to sneak up and get the check and make my way out quickly.
Oh yeah.
Because then they can't pay me back.
Yep.
Then Venmo.
Damn, turns out I'm just a cynic all the time compared to y'all. I'm one. This is going to sound like a humble brag as well. I am one of like the most empathetic. I'll say it, empathetic. Sure, we'll call it that. People out there that I know basically is I have a deep like feeling of empathy. There's a lot of stuff that really like makes me want to do good and do better for people. So, and I hope that it's okay to be a cynic too, because you can do both. And Brian, I'm sure you're a fantastic person in your own right as well.
And I have been taken advantage of a lot in my life. So don't get me wrong. There's some people that they will use that against you. And I think it's good to have a healthy sense of reality and like keeping your head on your shoulders.
And that's also what cynics are for, in my opinion. Like having cynical friends is for is so like when they come up to you and they're like, hey, you've done this thing for this person a dozen times and they've never paid you back for it. Maybe they're manipulating you. It's like, oh yeah, okay. Casey says, I have too big of a heart, not enough money. That is very true. She does. If she could, she would buy an entire dog shelter.
Yeah.
And just so that she could take care of all the dogs. And then she also said that she loves the shading on this, by the way. You did a great job with it. Yeah.
It'll be and he's got a smiley face. So for anyone out there, this is a friendly spider. She
is a wonderful little nature spirit. I'd buy stuff for my family. That's true. Yeah. You always are like, oh, let's buy mom a new TV or let's buy her a new laptop, that kind of stuff. And it's like, we don't have money for that for like a Christmas gift. We've done that a couple of years though, where we'll buy a big gift for somebody just because it's really fun to like have everybody pitch in and buy like a laptop or something for somebody who needs it, or tablets, you know. I think last year or 2 years ago, we bought iPads for everybody for Christmas for our family. Scott, Casey, and I pitched in to buy them. And mom and dad got them, and they were like, when are we ever going to use these? And they use them all the time.
Got him.
She now needs a new oven really bad. The only thing that we're going to buy her is a new microwave, because Casey's mom has a microwave from the 1970s.
Oh man.
And it is one of those ones where you lock it and you hit the button and it turns it on, and then you put in the time independently and it like spins around and cooks it. But it's not a once that timer goes off, it stops the microwave. The microwave keeps going until you shut it off manually.
Oh man.
It does not work perfectly. It is an old piece of crap. And I know what you mean by work perfectly, but it is not. And yes, she does have a backup, but that one's even older.
That's funny.
That one is even older.
Like my grandma and grandpa, he
might as well have a hand crank on the side. Yeah.
For years, grandpa was like, "Oh, I can fix it or whatever for the dishwasher." This is going back to the dishwasher discussion, but they had bought one, and the rack was completely like rusted off, and it was like falling every time he'd pull it out. And so I went in there one day, and I was like doing dishes for him, and I found that he took a bunch of like closet hangers, metal ones. And he's like, but it works, like, and it was working, but they were like rusting into it, making it worse. I was just like, Grandpa, like, please let me help you.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Brian, yes, an optimistic pessimist is exactly how I would describe what you're saying there. It's basically you plan for the worst, so when the worst doesn't happen, you're pleasantly surprised.
All right,
Doggo,
sit down, pup. He just wants to sit on my lap.
Oh yeah.
Make things difficult. All right, cool. Well, there is the
Mother of Venom. I think to round out the night, just a quick sketch of Demon Baby Pug versus Angel Baby Pug.
Demon Baby Pug. All right, let's do it. Do it. This one is for you. What the Yenchko?
What the Yenchko?
Yenchko. Sounds Russian. I like it. Or let's see. This is not Demon Baby. This is Mother Venom.
Yeah, if I was incredibly wealthy, I would spend so much on family.
If
like
I had $1 million.
Yeah, which I love. Whenever I play that song around Scott, he always goes, "Well, that's nothing."
It's true. It goes away pretty quick. Bosco, yes. I haven't in a while. I do have Magic the Gathering cards, and I have stuff, but it's I haven't played physically since high school. But I have played the Magic the Gathering online.
I've been playing the newest set, which goes back to the Brothers' War between Urza and Mishra. And I told Scott, I'm like, we should each get a booster box and open them up on a stream or a video, because that's the truest brother versus brother that I could think of.
Yeah, that'd be funny. Demon Baby.
But it's a really good set. It's like a lot of construct robots that they make, to fight the wars in. You would have loved the Kamigawa Neon Dynasty. It is Neo, like cyberpunk Japan.
I love it.
Yeah, which is awesome.
And
I have a whole mech deck based around it.
That cyberpunk, the new cyberpunk stuff, that's something I loved about it too, is it has this and arcane as well, right? It has that kind of hex tech steampunky kind of very sleek Japanese type like architecture, and as far as like the jawline, that one dude, how he has like his whole jaw's like made of metal and stuff. I love that kind of stuff. I eat it up.
Yep. Voltron robots, that would be the Kamigawa set has Voltron robots. The Brothers' War is more like ancient golem constructs, as it were, iron golems and such like that. So two different aesthetics, but they work really well together. But seriously, actually, if you got a moment, go look up. I'll send you a link to it, and then you can pull it up and talk about it. I'm going to send you the card art for one of the cards, and you can tell me that this doesn't scream. And this is a Magic card specifically. So you can pull that up now.
Pull it up over here. Open original. Yep. Let me get this. Why is that? There we go. Yeah. That looks very Gundam-y. That's cool.
Yeah. That is very much
mixed with like the Bushido armor, and then they have like the banners. That's cool. Yeah,
that is the Dragonfly suit is the name of that card. That's for cool. Anybody who is looking it up specifically. But it is one of the coolest, like, and it's not a particularly good card, but I run them in my deck just because I'm like, this is the aesthetic that I want to run here. Like, this is perfect. Because I have a full mech deck that is basically like mechs and their crews, like the pit crews and whatnot that support them, kind of thing. And it's just, I don't know, I have a lot of fun. I have more fun coming up with aesthetic Magic the Gathering decks than I do like practical ones.
Well, that's like me in my D&D writing and other stuff. It's like, I don't care if Chaos Bolt never actually works, like, but thematically it's awesome.
It's amazing. Yeah.
But yeah, let's see.
Mecha Titan Core is absolutely a flavor win. Cool. Yep. I have 4 Mecha Titan cores, and I have brought out the Mecha Titan several times, and it's wonderful. Joe, we are drawing Baby Demon Pug and Baby Angel Pug that Preston did some AI art for, and now he's going to do some sketch. Yeah, it's one of so the card that Bosco's referring to is it's a core that when you can basically not sacrifice it, but exile it with 4 other artifact cards, and it becomes the Mecha Titan, and it basically is Voltron, like if Voltron's so cool. itself, and it's like a 10/10 with trample, haste, flying, vigilance, lifelink. Like it has all the abilities. Yeah,
Death
it has all the abilities on it. But it's not like super overpowered or anything. Like you get a good like 10 swing, but you can also lose that pretty easily, and then you're just down to you're missing the Mecha Titan core, but you have the other mechs that come back. So it's one of those like I don't know. It's just a really fun little card to play. And then I also like and this might only be for Bosco. I added Karn to the deck, and then I just added Urza with the Might and Weak Stone, so I can try and combine them, which is yeah. But yeah, I've been playing a lot. Like my top 3 decks, I've got like a green white soldier and dude deck, basically making a whole bunch of creature tokens, that kind of thing. And then I've got a mono black deck that is all about witches and covens, and then I have my mech deck, and those are like the 3 main ones that I play. Because again, I play aesthetics more than I play anything else.
I like it,
and I like this. That looks a little bit like an Oni pug too. Yeah. Like yeah, like you went devil, but you went Oni devil. Yeah.
The Oni mask, and then his legs, kind of the weird demon baby.
Demon baby.
I guess they're baby. How do I make a baby again? It's just big eyes. I gave him.
How do I make a baby again?
How do I make it baby? I want to give him goat eyes. Goat eyes are the creepiest looking eyes.
Yep, they are.
And then angel baby pug will look so soft and gentle.
So adorable. Now it's going to look like, for anybody who can see me on Discord, it's going to look like I'm bringing up Magic Arena. That's because I am, but it's not. It's not to play. I'm still here for the stream. I'm just looking at cards and whatnot because I'm apparently in that kind of mood. Have you ever drawn Lyra? I'd love to see a moment she gets Brazinger from you. I'm going to add that to the list because I don't think we ever have drawn Lyra.
Yeah, I don't think I have.
Or Lyra.
Like I have this vague. The way my mind works, I guess, is I like to when I'm writing stories, I'll write kind of a synopsis, then I'll go look for pictures, and then I'll start to write more based on some of the pictures that spark ideas, and so I have some vague ideas, but yeah, I don't think we've ever put paper other than that she's like wears a lot of blackened straps, like that's Scott's favorite, right, for printing.
Yes, he loves his straps. And actually, we do have a Hero Forge figure of Lyra.
It's true.
She and I completely forgot this. She actually has Kami or Kamas, the tiny scythes. What are they called?
Oh,
are they Kami?
You're talking about the ones that have the pole and then they have like a little hook.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I don't remember what they're called, but yes, I know what you're talking about.
What is it? Kami? Yeah, Kama is what it's called.
Kama.
It's technically a tool. It's a farming implement, like a sickle.
Fun fact about ninjas is that a lot of times historically, they were a lot of farm folk and stuff. So when the samurai would come or others would come to like beat up the village, they weren't supposed to have weapons. So they'd make stuff out of just random farm implements and stuff. And that's where a lot of the ninja... like today's ninja stuff comes from, is there's a lot of farming implements that were made into something a little bit more deadly looking.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So, yeah, she does have a pair of Kama, but she also has her daggers that she uses. Big googly eyes for the baby angel pug. Of course, you have to have googly eyes. I've actually been playing a new game. It's called Across the Obelisk, and it was $15 on Steam. And it's basically, if anybody has ever played Slay the Spire or roguelikes like that, where it's like card based, where you have like so much energy per turn, and you throw out cards that cost the energy that do damage or heal you, etc. It's like that, but you're playing a whole adventuring party rather than just one character. And you can actually play, it's got multiplayer, so everybody can pick 1 or 2 characters to do the run with. It also has a bunch of unlockable, like, alternate starting heroes
Mhm.
for each of the 4 roles, because there's like a fighter, there's a rogue, it's kind of a rogue bard actually, because it has ranger, rogue, and bard stuff in it. And then you've got
Chris Pine.
yeah, it's basically Chris Pine. And then you've got your standard kind of wizard type, and then you've got your cleric type. And it has been a lot of fun. It is difficult, and it's very much a game of like, I will lose a dozen times before I get enough resources to kind of progress to a good run. And I actually haven't beaten the game yet, and I've been playing for several hours, I think. That's at this
fun.
point. What is my total play time? I played 18 hours of this game, and I have not completed a run.
That's cool.
It is kind of Darkest Dungeon difficult. Yeah. It is very much the same vein of that, where like your characters don't go mad, which is thankfully good, but it is a very much a progressively harder and harder fights as it goes along.
It's like I've been playing a lot of Ghost of Tsushima on PlayStation recently, and that game, like at first I thought it was like really hard, but that is such a pretty game. Like I love everything about the aesthetic. I love the storytelling. I was really impressed with that.
Mm-hmm.
I thought, and again, this might be hipster Preston talking, but I was like, it's overhyped. Everyone's just talking crap.
Yeah,
it's just it's PlayStation. They don't have that many. And then I went and actually played some of them. I was like, oh yeah, these are really good. Like,
it's like oh okay, all right.
These exclusives are actually worth my time. I like it.
Scott gets a huge shake of the head from me for saying is one of the commas named Oxford. That's
Oxford commas, yes.
Yep. And then
because you're supposed to use the Oxford comma on everyone, right?
Yeah. And then Bosco says, I prefer kunai and chain or meteor hammers to ninja weapons. We just introduced a character in the episode you're going to see in a couple here that has a kunai and a chain.
Mm-hmm.
We won't give any spoilers on that character, but yeah.
Don't break my heart. Say you love me again. All right. Ear more defined. You can see it a little better. One thing I am going to have to look up is color palettes, because I know they're like a beige and with a black as far as pugs go.
Yeah, it's kind of like a wider beige with a little bit of black mixed in. Joey Wheeler, kunai with chain. Exactly. Stop it, Scott. No more of that. Casey does a cool horns.
Thank you. There.
And I think she means the ones on your head that people can't normally see.
She has true sight.
Yep.
Alex Strasza. Is that her name?
The Dragon Queen?
Yeah.
Yeah. WoW just did its
Dragonflight.
Well, so it's the pre-patch right now, and they just released the Evoker, the new hero class that you get to be basically a Dragonoid. Oh. And there's so much character creation. I love it so much. I'm very excited to play. It's just that we don't have too much time to play.
Yeah, I feel you. That's like with Phasmophobia. I enjoy it. It's fun.
Mm-hmm.
But with COVID and everything else, like I tried playing it one of the days and I just couldn't because I didn't have a voice. Like I can't communicate on Discord.
Yeah.
And then I've been playing the new Modern Warfare DMZ stuff.
Oh yeah,
that's pretty fun.
Casey and I play when we play Modern Warfare, or we actually play Black Ops. We play the zombie stuff, just because it's always fun.
Yeah, it brings some new light to it. And I like the battle royale genre. Like, Apex Legends was my one that I really enjoy, and so having that new take, I again, Escape from Tarkov was one of those ones where like I was like, it's too try hard. I can't get into it. But then I played DMZ and I was like, I kind of like this format. This is fun. Hipster Preston ruining fun since forever.
Oh yeah. Casey says super cool horns, and Brian says that this is just Pug Gul'dan.
Pug Gul'dan.
Yep.
Yeah, it needs to have little baubles and skulls.
Bosco says his favorite weapon of all time is the Chinese Dao. I want a battle-ready one so bad. I just have to practice sparring. Ooh, nice. I love it.
That'd be cool. I'd say a younger kid, I'd say a katana would have been mine, but now I
can see younger Preston liking a katana.
Yeah, like katanas and like long swords and everything else. Now I think I'm a fan. Like if I was to actually have to choose one to fight with, a Warhammer.
Ooh, yeah.
Just because Warhammer, you have piercing, bludgeoning, like all these different things that, like, if you're in the zombie apocalypse, it'd be very versatile, I feel like.
Mm-hmm. So. Yeah, I think like something like the Chinese spade would be really good too. You would want something with versatility. Tactical shovel. How about that?
A tactical shovel, yeah.
We'll go with the old Markiplier standard and do hear me out, a slingshot.
Slingshot, yeah.
Slingshot's pretty good.
I think they're pretty deadly. I used to kill lizards with. Don't tell anybody. Well, I guess you can tell people because I'm telling you. But when we used to go out in the woods and stuff, I was that little kid that was shooting everything he could see with my.
You're the serial killer.
Yeah, I'm the serial killer. So, many lizards, unfortunately, had died by my hand.
Yeah.
Later in life, I regret it more, but as a kid, it's just like, oh, it's moving, shoot it.
Yep, exactly.
And then you get shot with one, and you're like, ow, that kind of hurt. Like, I don't think I want to do that anymore.
Like, no, thank you.
Ammo, anything fits in, it can be lethal. It's true. I've seen some really cool slingshots too. If you guys ever watch the Slingshot channel on YouTube, that guy, he's hilarious. I think he's in Germany, if I remember correctly, but he does like all kinds of slingshots, all kinds of bows, and like, it's fun.
It is fun.
He's such a joyous
wide curved
guy.
blades. I'm a defensive fighter, so it helps with blocking and parrying.
Or glaives. I think glaives would be fun. Like a shorter kind of glaive where you have the I guess would it be considered a glaive? In Lord of the Rings, they had those very long-handled elven swords at the beginning when they were like doing the whole everybody line up and fight. I think something like that would be really cool.
Yeah, those are like glaives. I have a friend who swears by the boar spear. Like he has one in his house, and he's like, "This is the greatest weapon. It's the best zombie killer because it's got range." Blah blah blah.
That's
like,
awesome.
Yeah, like he's very much all in on the.
I can see that.
No, on that.
I guess it does just depend too. Like if you're hunting with it versus fighting like another creature similarly sized, like it's a hard call to make in the apocalypse. Sometimes you just got to do what you got to do. Just ask Carl.
You just got to get back in the freaking house, Carl.
Come on, Carl. Carl, what'd you do that, Carl? For anyone who hasn't watched Walking Dead, that's what we're referring to. So
yes, Joaquin Phoenix dead.
Joaquin Phoenix dead. Speaking of Joaquin Phoenix, his Joker, I really enjoyed. I know that's like
really
old news.
I haven't seen it yet.
It's like the thing I appreciated about it is that he went so like mentalist with that, where he like put himself in the shoes of someone who would have that kind of disorder, and so it felt much more grounded and believable. Mm-hmm. And you had such empathy for him despite the horrible things that he does. Like you're like, I understand because the world
like, I feel
sucks.
You, man.
Like,
yeah.
Spears are the king of the battlefield for a reason. Yeah, it's true. Big reach advantage. You can bring down horses.
Yep. So long as you have the ability to maintain that reach.
Yep. Bridge
like
4.
Once you get in close, right?
Sorry, that was a Brandon Sanderson quote or reference.
Take a drink.
Take a drink.
Take a drink.
Take a drink, everybody. All right, night, Tanaka Joe. Breakfast with my father's. Us. Nice. Fix my wife's car, electrical. Excellent. Well, I wish you the best of luck, and please be safe. I know I've shocked myself more than once with wiring and not realizing it was active. Especially in old houses. I feel like this one, we turn off like 6 breakers to find out that plug is actually wired to a room three rooms away in the house.
You're like, wait a minute.
And it's not until you start like pulling it out and then you touch the wall and get shocked and you're like, oh, that's in the wrong place.
Yeah.
Dang it, now I can't stop seeing Gul'dan.
What did it cost? Everything. That was something that so when Infinity War came out and they had that line for Thanos, right? The whole like, what did it cost? And he says everything. Like, all I could think about was Gul'dan because Warlords had come out pretty recently, I think, at that point. And he says that in the opening cinematic, and I'm like, I was shocked that nobody memed it like that. True. Like, even in the WoW community, I didn't see any memes like that. It was like, oh, okay, weird. And I wasn't at the point where I was like, oh, I can confidently turn something into a meme. You know, I guess my biggest issue now would be I don't know how to do like the tracking software. I don't know if there's like a free version of it out there, or because I'm not going to sit there and be like every frame move the picture, kind of thing.
Yeah.
I'm not putting that much effort into it.
I actually saw a pretty cool one on this is for anybody who does software design and stuff, that a guy at work turned me on to, called Arcade. And if you ever need to do like tutorial type stuff or like explainer videos, here's how to use our product and it's in the browser. I was really impressed. You just click a button, it would record everything, and then it would actually record your clicks and pause at the clicks and let you put in text, and it would be still a video. It was really cool. I was nice. Very impressed with the product. So it's a stupid simple product.
Yanshko says this is coming along brilliantly, by the way.
Thank you.
And Casey did say Pugdan, in case you were
it's Pugdan.
Wanting more excuses to think about Gul'dan for it. Yep.
I'm going to do a little bit more of a hatching on him because I feel like it makes him look a little bit less soft, more scratchy. You think he'd have earrings? Yeah, I think he'd have earrings.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah.
Huh. Maybe I think they have earrings in Pug Heaven too. We won't be. He's got gauges.
Their body is a pug temple.
He's got gauges in his pug ears. And I don't know what else. We'll figure something else. Maybe it's the tusks. That's what's Gul'dan-y.
Oh yeah, yep. But that's also pugs. That's very much pugs.
Yeah, and I don't think he's very well balanced. He's kind of like recoiling and stepping away from this disgusting creature he sees in front of him.
Yeah.
This angelic pug.
How dare you?
You're the noxious smell of goodness. Let's do this. So you can't see him. Ollie is laying on my lap, and his legs are just straight up dangling off my leg. So he's like slowly sliding off my pants. Gonna hit the floor here in a second. So if you hear a thud and a yelp, it was not me.
Oh, it's just the dog.
It's just
the dog.
It's the dog falling off my lap. Okay, we'll do some quick block in.
I think we actually need to call it here soon. It's almost 9, yes, my friend.
We got 2 minutes. Here we go. See if I can do colors. I think I can do it. I think I can.
You can do it.
I think I can.
You think you can. You think you can. You think you can.
You know, something that I'm always guilty of is I always try and like color it in, and I always forget that I can just use the fill tool. Just make it easy.
Oh yeah.
Like,
yeah, so long as you have closed all of your lines, though, right?
As long as everything's closed. Nope, that's not it. Other tool. Nope, that's not closed. Where's it not closed? Right here. Aha! Now I've got a random line there. I got to figure out which layer it's on. But I'll do that later. So.
I'm loving this art. It reminds me of street art / graffiti style.
Yeah.
Very cool. And that's time. No,
Ding, ding, ding.
you're
Oh,
good.
no.
Go ahead and finish him up.
Got him. Loop, loop. Demon Pug, Goldan, Pug Dan is now
Pug Daniel.
Pug Daniel.
Ghoulish Daniel is what Dallin always calls him.
Saved.
Awesome.
Perfect.
Preston, this was fun.
Yeah, it was.
Thank you. Thank you for joining us tonight and gracing us with your wonderful art.
Yeah, likewise. And thanks for everybody for coming and having discussions and catching up.
Yeah, always a lot of fun.
Thanks for the new folks, Twitch, YouTube. Looking around.
Welcome. We're glad to have any new people join us, and all of our old favorites. Patrick Jolly decides to come in at the end here and say good job, great job, rather.
Thanks.
Casey says awesome stream. This has been a wonderful evening, and I am so glad to have shared it with you. Once again, no stream next week. Just we were taking a break for Thanksgiving. Make sure you follow us, give us a like and comment. Join our Discord. You can suggest new stuff there that we'll put into our little list of things to do. Mm-hmm. And the week after next week, join Preston for a solo art stream where you get to just chat with him. I don't have to worry about you don't have to worry about me steering the conversation one way or the other.
It'll be fun, guys. It'll be fun.
And then, of course, don't forget to check out Tales of Aneria next Wednesday. We've got a new episode coming out, so that should be a lot of fun.
Yep. Check it out, guys. Thanks for coming.
Yeah, thank you very much. Have a good night.